Hi, I'm Jim Blocky coming to you live from my living room. I've been really looking into this Obama thing, and I think I finally understand the Obama craze. You see, the mainstream media has blasted President Bush so consistently and vehemently that he has the lowest approval rating in recent history. Now, I'll be the first to admit that President Bush has not done everything right, but I will also be the first to recognize that he's done many good things. For instance, America has not been attacked since 9/11. And believe me, that is an astonishing accomplishment. And he's been given no credit for that. Now back to this Obama craze. You know, because of President Bush's low approval rating, everybody thinks they want change. And the mainstream media and the Obama campaign, and believe me, those are not two different entities, have portrayed McCain as 4 more years of Bush, with the only other option being the charismatic Barack Obama. Many have chosen to bury their heads in the sand over all the negatives he carries, not to mention that there is so many things we don't know about the man. Now, what am I talking about? Well, how can Sarah Palin's clothes be a bigger story than the fact that Obama is friends with a terrorist like William Ayers, a racist like Reverend Wright, and the likes of Tony Resco, just to name a few? Now, how is it that we can excuse that away and say that it's just the right wing making a big deal out of nothing? I even heard Shepard Smith of Fox act disgusted with Joe the plumber because Joe agreed with the opinion that a vote for Obama would be a vote for the death of Israel. Now Smith shook his head in disgust and was speechless, and then said, Obama has consistently said he would support Israel. Well, you know, the one thing that I've noticed that is a consistency with Obama is that he says one thing and then does another. Like signing the paper saying he will not take government funds for his campaign, and then taking government funds for his campaign. Now, I will admit, I do not know if Obama becomes president that it would be the death of Israel. But then again, I can't say for sure that it wouldn't. You know, Obama has boasted how he would talk to our enemies without preconditions, including those who want to destroy Israel and say the Holocaust never existed. You know, those last two statements themselves should give us time to pause. Obama's reasoning for talking to enemies is that other countries do not like us because we won't trade with them, and we simply will not talk with them. Well, excuse me, but other countries hate us because we're the best and most powerful. Not to mention, at least at one time, one of the most moral countries in the world. Everyone who is number one wants to be number one, and so they hate whoever is number one. Like the New York Yankees, you know, they're the most successful organization in sports history, yet everybody wants them to lose, just like every other country wants to destroy us. What about Acorn? He did. Obama did, yes, give them over $800,000. And what about raising over $200 million in donations of under $200? That's amazing. Now, where did all those contributions come from? Overseas? Critics say this is an invitation to fraud. What about Obama's comment about people clinging to their guns and religion? How condescending is that? And, you know, what true Christian does not cling to his religion? And of course, Obama would know that if he were a true Christian. Now, how about the 14 documents, including his college records, his college thesis, and believe it or not, his birth certificate, that either have not been released or not available? Did you know there's a tape of Obama's grandmother saying that she was at his birth in Kenya? Now, Obama supporters continually rationalize all these negatives about him. Why? Well, here's my theory. One, because most people in this country do not really want to believe anyone running for president would really want to bring it down. But it was Russia that said America could not be beaten from outward actions. It would have to come from within. 2, because so many want change so badly that people believe what the mainstream media says, that the other side is really the bad guy. And we hear it so often that it starts to make sense. Remember, if you repeat a lie often enough, people will start believing it. Just look at the separation of church and state. 3, because there are many people in this country that actually want to eliminate our freedoms. They hate our way of life, and they believe socialism is a better way of life. And lastly, those who have been Obama supporters from the get-go They've had to make excuses and rationalize his behavior and beliefs so often that I believe they have battered wives syndrome. Yeah, no matter what he does, no matter how he treats this country or what he says about it, people say it's not his fault, and they keep making excuses for him and staying with him. Now, honestly, Obama's many questionable friends, the documents he won't divulge, the not very wise comment that he and his wife, America's a downright mean country, and his vice presidential nominee, too numerous to mention, Jobs is a three-letter word, they may not mean anything. He may sincerely love this country, and he wants what's best for us. I don't know. He's not been around long enough to know for sure. And if you are honest with yourselves, you'd have to say the same thing. You just don't know. And that, my friends, is the scariest thing about Obama. We just don't know what he will do. If Obama has nothing to hide, then why is he hiding his past? Why won't the Los Angeles Times release a tape showing Obama praising Rashid Khalidi, who served as spokesman for the Palestine Liberation Organization, the PLO, when it was a U.S. designated terror group? Why, when the press doesn't agree with him, he kicks them off the plane, or they blackball the station? If you do not believe that your perception can be swayed by the mainstream media, just ask the 56 people who saw shots coming from the grassy knoll in the President Kennedy assassination. Our country will be defeated when we become blind to the fact that our enemy could infiltrate us and could take over this country by becoming our leaders. I'm not saying that this is that time, but I am saying that this could be that time. Anyways, our leaders are watching, and they're testing us right now to see how blind that we're actually becoming. If our enemy becomes our leader, that would be a change. Is that a change we would want? Please, do not vote for what is perceived as change for good. Thank you.